What did we football fans just witness? This new Champions League format is beautiful. To be honest, I hated the idea of it at first. I didn't want it happening at all, but my word, am I happy. It's been life changing for me. Champions League is much more entertaining than group stages now. Anything can happen in this new format. We'll go through the majority of key things, but I'm sorry if I don't talk about your team, but I will be talking about as much teams as I can. Let's start with the best of them all, in my opinion, Benfica versus Real Madrid. Now, I was watching this game for the last 10 minutes, and it looked like Benfica were holding out for a 3-2 win. I was so confused. I thought Mourinho was just happy with a win and didn't necessarily want that extra goal to go through. I wasn't wrong, but I kind of was wrong because he did say after the match that, excuse me, there, he was told that after the match, he was told he'd done enough and the 3-2 win was enough to go through. But he was told with 1 minute remaining that they needed one more goal. So it made sense why they only started attacking in the last 60 seconds. Benfica won a free kick with the last kick of the game, and they threw the keeper up. Now, I did think Benfica were going to score from this, but I didn't think the keeper would score. I thought someone at the back post because Benfica had a two-man advantage and there was two-man free at the back. When I saw the delivery on that, my eyes were glued to Trubin, the goalkeeper, and he actually scored a fantastic header. One ending to the match, and the keeper sending Benfica through. Mourinho fair play. It looked impossible to guide Benfica to a top 24 finish after the start they had and the teams they had left to face. When he took over, I wasn't sure about that appointment. I have a video on him coming out later on today, but that's not for now, that's for later. Benfica went through. Now, as a kid, I'm sure we would have all loved to score against Madrid, or at least score for them if you didn't want to score against them. But I just can't imagine how the goalkeeper Trubin feels. He just scored against the biggest club of all time, in my opinion, as a goalkeeper. On to the next game, Chelsea versus Napoli. I literally made a video last week about Conte's European form, and he's only gone and done it again. Napoli completely knocked out from the Champions League. This game was a must win for both sides. Chelsea needed the win to secure a top 8 finish, and they got it via two João Pedro goals and Liam Rosana, a great start for you, sir. And honestly, I'm not even surprised. I did make a video saying he won't be as bad as everyone thinks, but it is too early and I could end up being wrong. The next game is Newcastle and Paris Saint-Germain, which ended in a 1-1 draw. PSG haven't been convincing at all this season, but even last year they weren't, but they did turn up in the last two games of the group stages. But this year, it just hasn't happened at all. They've been drawing to weaker sides and lose to weaker sides. This is a weaker Newcastle side than usual, and in all honesty, this could have easily ended as a Newcastle win had some decision just favoured them. Both sides miss out on the top 8 in a must-win game. Liverpool versus Karabag. Liverpool needed a win for a top 8 finish. This is the game I actually watched, and they annihilated Karabag. Everyone was basically cooking for them. Their attackers all basically scored, and Van Dijk, more like Van de Bruyne, 3 assists. Don't think that went unnoticed, Virgil. Manchester City versus Galatasaray. Man City needed a win for a top 8 finish, and they won 2-0. Aït-Nouri and Cherki masterclass. Haaland back on the score sheet as well, and it looked comfortable for them. They dominated possession, but this Gala side does have potential. Sorry, they just need to keep the scoreline away from home as low as possible. Barcelona versus Copenhagen. Both teams needed a win for their own reasons. Barcelona needed a win to secure a top 8 finish, and Copenhagen needed a win to secure a top 24 finish. Barcelona went 1-0 down, and then their attackers woke up. Lewandowski, Yamal, Rafinha, and Rashford all scoring in the same game. The match ended 4-1 for Barcelona, and I'm sure their fans are happy that those four scored, as they need the main attackers to be confident for the remainder of the season. Wait. The remainder of the season, sorry, yeah, we go. I don't know why I fumbled that. The remainder of the season, as there's some pretty important games coming up, and if Barcelona want to win the Champions League, they need to be firing. Sporting vs Bilbao, the most underrated game here. Both teams needed to win badly. Sporty is crazy. Oh, sorry. Sporting the surprise package of the top 8, and Bilbao to progress into the next round of the Champions League. That's what was at stake for both teams. Sporting scored an extra time winner to win the game 3-2 and secure a top 8 finish. They've been underdogs so far. Atletico Madrid vs Bodo Glimt. Both teams needed a win. Atletico for a top 8 finish and Bodo Glimt to finish 20th in the top 24. And it was a final two games for Bodo Glimt that on paper looked impossible for them to win. And it looked like they were guaranteed to get knocked out, with Manchester City and Atletico Madrid left to play. But they won both games. Atletico Madrid will be disappointed, as a win at home against a side that's significantly weaker than them on paper. But nope, Bodo Glimt secured a 2-1 win, and fair play to them. So let me just take a little water break. Apologies for that. I was speaking too much, and my mouth was getting very foamy. Frankfurt versus Tottenham. Frankfurt, a meaningless game for them as they're already knocked out. Tottenham needed a win for a top 8 finish, and they got that via a 2-0 win. They looked comfortable, and they can't do it again, can they? 17th place and another European trophy. This club doesn't make sense to me at all, but a good performance and a top 4 finish in the group stages of the Champions League. Well done to them in all honesty. The final game I'll be analysing is Club Brugge vs Marseille. This is so disappointing for Marseille. That Truban goal makes this 3-0 loss much worse. And the 3-0 loss as well, they did not need to concede that late goal at the end, which basically got them knocked out. They're the strongest team on paper alongside Napoli to be knocked out of the Champions League. They have enough class to be in the next round. They play good football, they have good players. But Club Brugge needed a win to go through as well. And they dominated Marseille with a 3-0 win. Fair enough to them. You can't really say much. That's Champions League Match Week 8 analysis done. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I should be doing this as well when all the fixtures get released and who's versing who. But thank you for watching, everyone.